About a year and some change ago, I counted down my top 10 fighting game mains. 10 go-to picks across 10 brawlers. But if you think those are the only 10 I have words about, you have a round 2 coming. There's some games I didn't have time to get to, and games I've played since then, and new experiences I've gotta expunge. Let's count down 10 more fighting game mains. One of the chief traits of Frieza that makes him such a great foil to Goku in Dragon Ball is the fact that he hasn't trained a day in his life, and he prides himself on this. Which is why it's so damn fun to play as Frieza in any number of Dragon Ball fighting games, from FighterZ to the more niche Budokai Tenkaichi games. Frieza's infectious personality makes it easy for developers to instill his every move with a trademark smugness. I'm not sure a character has ever been so expressly designed to have such tilting quotes and animations, needling afar with death beams, or trying out an earth-shaking golden ensemble. Frieza is someone I just always look forward to trying out. Your Honor, dead or alive? Death! Elephant in the room aside, Dead or Alive is rarely my first choice for a fighter, but its particular brand of kinetic movement and action is hard to match when that itch appears, and I can always rely on my girl, Hitomi, when I want to go a few rounds. A lot of DOA ladies are these featherweight kunoichi and martial artists, and they get it done in their own right, but there's a very different energy to Hitomi, who's still very pretty, but actually reads like a unit of power and energy in a tight karate package, kinda like Street Fighter's Makoto. An attorney of acrobats and absolutely bananas feats of flexibility, Hitomi is a fastball down the middle and hits just as hard, and with the appropriate spunk of a plucky karate girl we love to see. The Ninja Turtles are a pretty intuitive franchise to make into a fighting game, to the point that it's happened on and off across multiple generations. Consistency I want to single out because every time, I've just gotta be old Shredhead. Tournament Fighter, Smash Up, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, all games with ups and downs, but also with earnest elements, including great and diverse moveset opportunities for Shredder, who's such an eclectic supervillain from years of comics, shows, movies, and games, that making him an identity in a brawler is like choosing from a delightful grab bag. And true to his indomitable personality, he tends to be a hard one to beat, especially that cheap-ass lightning from Tournament Fighters. When it was announced the creators of Pokemon and Tekken would put their heads together to create Pokken, no one saw any use in burying the lead that Machamp would be one of the game's biggest headliners. Arguably the Pokemon best built for fighting conceptually, which says a lot considering Pokemon is all about fighting. Machamp is one of my favorite Pokemon, second only to Granbull, who does not belong in a filthy fighting ring. She belongs in a lovely manner, resting in front of my fireplace, while I enjoy my tea. God, I wish they were real! And Machamp's moveset is intuitively built from some of Tekken's most famous powerhouses, like Paul Phoenix and King. Combined with Machamp's endearing personality, he quickly became one of the most likable heavyweights and one of the FGC's shortest-lived crazes. Among the bombastic cast of Soul Calibur, the first character that pops in one's head may not be the poised Xiang Hua, but I think she deserves way more attention. If my affinity for Chun-Li, among others, is any indicator, I'm very fond of fighters hailing from China, since Hong Kong martial arts are often the most striking and badass of fighting styles, and Chinese culture lends itself well to some amazingly beautiful outfits and aesthetics. They're often my favorite characters to dress up, and Xiang Hua may be the best example of that, not only sporting those beautiful colors and materials, but showing off a sort of rare style of Chinese swordplay that moves almost like a dance, matching the effortless poise of her appearance in a fashion that makes her incredible to play. Among huge broadswords and battle axes, Xiang Hua's wushu blade style and bubbly personality bring a much-needed splash of lighthearted color to Soul Calibur, and it's made her my favorite of the bunch. For a series with a name like King of Fighters, it's the ladies of this particular ensemble that really steal the show for me. And contrary to most fighting games, there's truly no shortage of them either. SNK is responsible for some of FGC's most prolific women fighters. Mai Shiranui, Chizuru, Angel, you name her. But the best of the best in my eyes is none other than Shermy. It's very rare a wrestling fighting style is bestowed to a girl fighter, and Shermy's fluid command grabs can break the bones of the best of them while still feeling sleek and acrobatic. In terms of outfits, badass special moves, and personality, Shermy is just one of the most effortlessly cool grapplers in the business. I welcome anyone that lets me rearrange a foe's spine while clad in bright, fabulous pink. No small motivator for working on an expansion of this list in particular was the fact that as of its recent updates, I've been super into Samurai Showdown, a new favorite fighter of mine and a title I'd call one of the most underrated in the circuit. Sam Show is all about finding openings for single, devastating cuts, as opposed to long combos or bombastic chains. Being able to weave in and out is key in a game of Samurai Showdown, which is why the fast and slippery Viper-esque Shiki is my fighter of choice. Turns out, when it comes to SNK games, I like my fighters deadly and a little bit evil pending on dubious brainwashing. Sam Show is a huge learning curve, even for a fighting game player as experienced as yours truly. The emphasis on defense is hard to grasp at first, which is why Shiki's speedy teleportation and brutal dual-wielding cuts turned out to make her the chosen one who would lead me to understanding this game for the first time, an experience that's just kind of always religious for me when I first start off a game, the kind of character you don't forget. I'm always going to have a special place in my heart for this evil assassin lady just for that. So, while thinking about new fighting game mains to talk about, I wanted to keep this expansion free of revisions of previous choices. Even if I wouldn't pick every single one of those same characters from that first list, making the same list today, I feel my taste comes across pretty well there, and I still quite like all of them. That said, my choice for Guilty Gear was indeed Venom, a character who, at the moment, is snubbed from the series' latest installment, Strive. I had to scratch the itch of a tricky zoner elsewhere in that game. Enter Bridget. Yo-yos aren't weaponized in pop culture anywhere near enough, and they're such a fun and precocious little gizmo. And in the steampunk energy of Guilty Gear, Bridget is a refreshing splash of cute aesthetic, while still fitting in fairly well with a funny attitude and powerful moves. This social distancing queen can use her yo-yos to keep those big, mean grapplers a safe distance away, and needle away a victory with just a sliver of health left. Just the unfair horse piss I love to pull. Anyone with eyes can tell Bridget can't take a hit super well, but what goes up must come down, and this speed demon's range and combos is more than a worthy trade-off. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle isn't necessarily a great fighting game per se, but is a very fun and detail-oriented fan service game. So when it was announced we'd get a remaster with 10 additional characters added in, I wasn't all that turned on. I mean, my favorite JoJo character is an episodic stand user who only fights once in the whole series run. I kinda doubt. Look, I don't know whose kitten I saved to deserve this, but this was simply my hour. And the playable Gyatso I truly never thought we would ever get turned out to be exactly what I wanted. I love how they filled in some gaps as to how White Album works with some of his smaller moves, giving him a great defensive option with Gently Weeps, and my fucking god, his finisher is the fucking Venezia rant. You fucking mad lads did it. They truly left no stone unturned. Wait, Gyatso, father, I'm sorry, please stop. Be content, it's all I want for you. So, my biggest fighting game poison right now is Multiverses, scratching that itch of an excellent Smash-like in a way truly nothing else has. I'm sure you'll hear me talk about this game some more down the line, but I've gotta shout out my main, Tom and Jerry, some of the most fun I've had with a new fighting game character in a while. People close to me are probably pretty shocked I didn't main some other big favorite of mine from the WB library, like Superman, Arya, and they're both amazing as well, but the execution of Tom and Jerry is just immaculate. Characteristic of Player First's devotion to authentic detail, Tom and Jerry are preoccupied with hurting one another throughout the fight, and most of their moves are collateral of their own quarrel crashing into another player. There's this indiscernible catharsis in seeing gestures on part of Tom that I've spent years watching him use to smash other characters like pancakes in cartoons, and using them directly in a fighting game to send foes flying, coupled with the brilliant mechanic that Tom is genuinely one of the game's most powerful fighters, but simultaneously one of the most challenging to use because his most useful moves are only so when he is united with Jerry, who can be separated from him at any turn, adding an addictive and zany level of strategy to the character. And I feel such a commitment to such grounded characterization, acting as the catalyst for such an interesting fighter, is a small encapsulation of why Multiverses is so great. What's even more bizarre is I was training for this moment long before Multiverses itself without even knowing it. Let me take you back to the GameCube days, where bizarre poverty fighters were Nintendo owners' only options, and Tom and Jerry, War of the Whiskers, was king. You thought Shrek Super Slam was the ultimate shitpost FGC combatant? I want to build the tier list between Tom, Jerry, Spike, and fucking Eagle. Evo, where are you at? Host this game. I will take anyone to nationals in this. I think literally every character plays the exact same. Where was I? Oh, yeah, so overall, Tom and Jerry are a great signifier of what's to come, in as far as Multiverse's eclectic and amazing, ever growing ensemble is shaping up to be, and I cannot wait to see more.